Boxing Day against the Scarlets. What's it mean?
It means a lot. I've read, obviously, press releases from previous games because we've, it's a new experience for me because obviously we've played at home before in my tenure and at different times. I know it's a hotly contested game and the game that all of both respective regions look forward to, the West Wales derby. There's derbies and there's derbies. That's not to undermine anything of the others because we've had plenty, but this is the one that we know from a regional perspective or a location perspective means the most. We played well enough to earn a good result last time at home, which makes it double the trouble because there's nothing that motivates you more than a scorned performance in front of your own fans. So yeah, we're expecting a pretty hostile sort of welcome in a game that means a lot.
I suppose the new experience you mean is in front of fans, because obviously you've had the quiet ones in front of fans in Llanelli, full house at Parker Scarlets. That's something you'll be looking forward to. Yeah,
I love it. Yeah, no, that's what sports fraught with emotion, and that's really cool because that's what gets people's juices flowing and gets people excited. A bit of Christmas cheer thrown in, a bit of Christmas spirit, literally, probably, which is also part and parcel of it. So yeah, it's I talk about being in the entertainment business. Let's hope that we can put on a good show.
What did you make of the Scarlets this season so far?
Not paid much attention to them, to be honest, by the games that obviously prior to when we played them. I know that a lot of people have talked about the Black Lion experience. I'm sure they're disappointed, but we're the people that come next on the log in the fixture list. So there's our performance against them last time and our result, the West Wales derby, and a bounce back from the Black Lion experience doesn't bode well to a team that doesn't rock into town with the right attitude. And I think our biggest challenge is obviously, as it always is our mindset and the mindset of what we do and how we deal with the pressure, because it's going to be a pressurised environment for sure.
Reflections on last weekend, and also does it help you've had an extra few days trying to get some sore bodies ready for the game?
Yeah, we gave everyone 3 days off in a 13-week and a long pre-season, so it was important to get some mental freshness as much as physical freshness. So yeah, we've obviously gone out there today for the first time in the wind and started the preparation performance, and we're excited about it.
A few players missed the Montpellier game. Jack Morgan, Rhys Davis, Kieran Williams. Will they be around Boxing Day?
Jack Morgan won't. He's probably going to have an operation to repair an injury. So we'll know a little bit more about that in the next coming days. The others, we're hopeful that they'll be back. Yeah.
Just with Jack, what sort of timeline are you looking at? Short term, long term?
Well, if there's a repair involved, then it will be more long term. So those things can be difficult to predict until the nature of it. I haven't got the details of that. Literally, that's hot off the press, in the last 24 hours, really. So from that point of view, we now know a little bit more what we're dealing with. But until people plot the course of action, which our medical team is doing now, we won't know the answer.
Are we talking maybe Europe for you or Six Nations for Wales? What do you think?
You want me to answer the same question again? I will answer the same question. Until I speak to the medical department, after they speak to the surgeon, if it's going to happen, then we'll know more about it. I do like your persistence, Gav. I do like your persistence.
You do, yes. You do enjoy it deep down.
I do. And I'm quite forthcoming, right? I'll tell you the truth. If I know it, I'll tell you. I just generally don't know.
No, I do know that, Toby. I do know that. Can you say which part of his injury it is?
His knee.
Okay. Thank you. Bit of a blow considering the year he's had.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely for him, and he was, very pivotal in the last Scarlets game, to be fair. So they've probably got a little bit more. They've got a bit of motivation. The fact he's not playing, I'm sure, but it provides the opportunity for the next person. And we've got some good players, and we're excited what they can do.
And he enjoys the Scarlets derby, I'd imagine, for obvious historical reasons, wouldn't he?
Couldn't possibly say.
And Rhys Davis and Kieran, possibly for Boxing Day, then, is that fair enough?
Yeah, we're hopeful on those. Yeah, that should be okay.
And just one from the weekend, Nicky Smith obviously came off with a shoulder injury. How's Nicky?
Yeah, Nicky's sore. So we're trying to establish that. And if he doesn't go this week, there's a lot of rugby to be played, but we'll see how he presents. But we've got Gartom, another Welsh international, and Gareth Phillips has had a very strong season for us, as well as Rhys Henry. So that we like set piece. So we'll be well covered there for sure.
Yeah, loose head is a position you're well covered for. Not a lot of depth, but loose head. People talk about that, but loose head's one that you're quite well stocked at the moment.
Yeah. No, I mean we were before, and we had Rod Jones before, so we've under Duncan Jones's tutelage. It's no surprise that we've got good loose heads.
We're talking about Christmas time, presents, everything like that, Toby. It's always this time of year, New Year coming up. Where are you in recruitment? I'm not going to ask you about individuals as such, but I'm just in terms of the process, where you are for next season, because we all know what happened last season. Are you where you'd want to be in terms of what you've been told that you can do, or what's the process at the moment for you?
Well, we're obviously internally we are obviously assessing people's performance and looking to make sure that we keep hold of particularly our young players, because we know we've always made a commitment to that. So we're in the process of going through all the data analysis. I mean, that's why 13 weeks straight is quite difficult. But yeah, we've got a pretty good idea about what we want to keep. The logistical part of it is really difficult because you're trying to negotiate longer term deals when you've only got financial certainty for 1 year. And I don't mean that in relation to we're not financially stable, we are, but we don't know what the wage cap is the following year. No one's given us that guidance, so we can't commit really to that until we get a clear understanding what that's going to look like. So we can get all the deals done, in relation to what we want to look like in the term, but to actually get the pen to paper, we need some certainty from elsewhere.
That'll be from the guys at the top, is it PRB, WIU, I suppose?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And in terms of that, everyone's talking about the younger talent, but also the players between sort of mid-20s who provide you with that experience at the moment. How is it important to keep them as well? Perhaps the experienced internationals who played a bit of rugby now, who as well as the young talent.
Yeah, I mean, we've those, if you say mid-20s boys, are ones that probably when I started were, in the same situation as the new crop that we're bringing through. So they've got 3 years of experience. They understand the Ospreys way that we're trying to get to. So they're invaluable. You need to make sure that you keep the people that you want to keep, the people that are delivering, reward the people that have delivered for you. It doesn't really matter the age. The bottom line is there's people that have delivered and performed well, and you want to reward people as early as you can, and that's our intention. Will always to do that. So we all want to get going. We just want to make sure we can get through the red tape in order for us to do so.
And I suppose while you've got that element of uncertainty, there are clubs in England and as well as France and Japan who perhaps have a little bit more certainty, so they're probably providing you with a challenge. Is that fair to say? Yeah,
again, that's always there really, and we have to understand that the backdrop, their cycle's probably 2 years in front of ours because they had that sort of reset from a wage cap point of view prior, and they're on the way back up with marquee players being signed, but they're mindful as well that they've only got a number of teams now, and unfortunately the demise, especially my old team, for example, London Irish, there's not so many choices anymore either. I think the biggest threat comes from abroad, if I'm honest, because there's still cap and governance in the English Premiership. But yeah, the more people that want your good players, obviously the greater chances. But there's lots of things that go into that: money, length of term, location, quality of coaching, style of play. It's not just about the bottom line, but ultimately, when you get these things agreed, you want to get them done.
Lovely. Thank you, Toby.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'll go next. And usually a close fought contest, really, the West Wales derby, and won by the smallest of margins at times. Do you think Toby's going to be the same sort of thing this week, despite having such a comfortable game? Well, not comfortable result last month, should we say?
Yeah, well, history would say that. I think so. I think there's been a lot of 70-minute pluses in front, but not getting across the line for the Ospreys. I mean, well before my time. So I think that's the history books would suggest it's going to be a close fought contest for sure. And often when you go away from home in Welsh derbies, it is.
With last week's defeat, the better players are really hurting, and as are the Scarlets as well with their run and with their manager under pressure too. So both sides are going to come into this really wanting to win this match. Is the key going to be really working on the discipline side of things?
I think you've got to keep your discipline in derbies. You know, we certainly fell foul of that in the Dragons game, for example. You know, emotions are important. But our penalty count in the last 3 games has been all in single figures, so I'm pretty happy with our discipline overall. Bar that Dragons one, you know, we've had like 7 penalties last week. I think it was 3 the week before or whatever it was. So from our point of view, discipline shouldn't be an issue for us. But you've got to control your emotions in a derby. So yeah, we're hoping that we can show some learnings from the Dragons game. But we played Scarlets post that and we went okay. So from that point of view, hopefully we've learned that lesson.
And do you feel when you talk about learning, really last weekend was very much a learning experience for some of your players with a side with a much bigger budget, and perhaps really the supporters, since the team have played so well this season at times, maybe have gone into that game thinking perhaps we might have got something out of it and been brought down to earth a little bit with the result?
Yeah, if you look statistically at the game, and I'm not, you know, and obviously coaches do that, and I'm not trying to, you know, apportion any form of performance. You know, ultimately the win and loss column is the one that matters, and we don't do anything to come second for sure. But there was actually a lot of comparison in what they did and what we did. The difference is when they got into the final quarter, into the red zone, into the 22, they converted it onto the scoreboard. So we had plenty of opportunities to do that, and that's, if you look the week before, we were the most efficient team at doing that in Europe. And we historically have always been good at converting that. It just comes down to basically physicality and basically size. You know, with a young team, you've got the one thing about Montpellier, they were very big and very physical, and you know that means you have to be very, very accurate if you can't win a physical battle continually. So I think that the learning is understanding that physicality is a massive part of the game for sure. If we weren't getting into the red zone and creating double figure entries, then I'd be really worried about it, but I'm not, because the season so far would tell me that's in spite of, not because of. So from that point of view, yeah, it'll be business as usual for us.
And going into this busy period now over the next few weeks now, has your kind of mindset changed of your targets you want to achieve for the season, or is it just a case of taking it game by game?
We always take it game by game. Boring as it is for you guys, you know, coaches work 1 week forward, 1 week back. We condition our players to do the same, because if you look too far forward, you trip over the hurdle that's just in front of you. So, you know, we as many regions are sort of in the situation where we've picked up some collateral damage, and a lot of us are, you know, trying to get to the end of this block in the best shape you can and with the best results that you can. So, you know, we've got a few games to go, so we're getting a few boys back, which is exciting, and we understand that the Scarlets are, you know, from obviously there's a lot of boys that know a lot of boys in each other's team, so everyone knows each other's business. You know, when we know that people are trying to get back for this game, Costello, etc. So from that point of view, you know, whatever happens, we'll be ready and look after ourselves, and then we'll see where we go from there.
And regarding some of the South African players, some of them have been involved, others perhaps not so much, as we're not really sure how much action they are going to get. Is there any more kind of news on how many minutes they'll kind of get over the next few weeks or so? No,
not really. Got nothing more to that. Again, it's on a case by case basis in relation to Christmas. Is obviously making sure that people you know, that understand and get time to recuperate do, and then we'll see what the new year brings after that.
But is it a case of they're there to supplement the squad rather than stake a claim to really play regularly?
No, I don't think so. I think that, I mean, obviously they've gone back home, you know, in relation after Europe, because the question is when we bring them back, or if we bring them back, because they'll start leading into the Currie Cup season for them as well. So from our point of view, it's all around probably what does the Six Nations look like, and once we get a steer from the Wales camp of what's happening there, then that probably means that, you know, we look at the injury list, and we've been a long-term injured for quite a lot. We're hoping to get some of those back, and then that shapes your need really, because we're trying to be cost effective by only bringing people in that we need, you know, and try and doing things a little bit differently. So hopefully, in a couple of weeks we'll have a greater understanding of what that looks like.
Okay, thank you, Toby. Good luck for the weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One final one from me, Toby, just to catch up. How's your captain doing, Justin Tipperick? How's he looking?
Yeah, he'll be around probably end of January, I think, which is good. He's frustrated, but when you get older, your bones get a bit more brittle. So no, he's fine. He's all right. He's just a bony injury is just around, obviously giving it the right time to heal. So you know what you're dealing with. He's chomping at the bit, as a number of them are. You know, Alex Cuthbert did some running around today, which was good to see. Hopefully, as I say, we're getting some boys back towards the end of that.
Sorry, Morgan Morris was away late withdrawal as well from the game. How was he?
Yeah. Well, he's hoping to train later on in the week, so that's we're hopeful on him for sure.